A map of Italy. I'll go back there one day. The only useful thing on this shelf is the New York phone book. A fold-away bed. One of the best inventions in recent times. It's my gun holster. My investigator's license. I don't need. It's my Dannazione. It's been years since I put the gun in here. I don't have any idea of what the combination is. My gun. My gun. It's been a while since I used it. I don't like to carry it with me. Anyway, it's not loaded, and it's pretty useless to carry it around without any bullets. I must have some bullets in my office somewhere. I just need to remember where. Detergent and clothespins, the bare necessities to look presentable. Some canned tomatoes, beans, and other grub to keep me alive. It looks like a statue of a seagull or a pigeon. I didn't remember having this junk in my storage room. A manifesto from Clito, in Calabria, the city where I was born. If I actually tried to put these shelves in order, I'd realize that at least half of these things should be thrown out. A jar of lard. My homemade photography lab. I develop my own photographs. I can't let compromising materials end up with some photographer with a loose tongue. The last red light bulb I had blew up last week, and the place where I usually buy them doesn't open until tomorrow morning. Mop and pail. Perfect for a housewife. When I rented this apartment, this thing was already there. It's kind of broken, but I didn't pay for it. Here are the bullets. Let's hope they didn't rot over the years. Great. There are just 3 bullets. Better to be an optimist and see the magazine half full rather than half empty. There are just 3. Good. The gun is loaded now. There's something under the door. I must have been too drunk to notice it when I got here. It's a letter from Slavonsky, the apartment owner.
Dear Mr. Del Nero, please remember that you are 2 months late with rent. You are asked to fulfill your duties as renter, to avoid unpleasant consequences. This is the last notice that I send. If you do not pay, I take drastic measures. Sincerely, Vladimir Alexandrovich Slavonsky.
If I had the money, I'd pay the rent. It's the 3rd threat of eviction that this stingy Russian has sent me this month. And I think it can keep the other 2 company. An old copy of the New York Voice. The certainty with which Mayor Weston claims he'll be re-elected makes me think that his electoral campaign isn't relying solely on rallies and handshakes. At the end of the day, you can always buy the votes that you can't win with your ideas. For once, the weather forecast seems to have been right. I've never seen this much rain coming down. It's like a hurricane hit New York. Slavansky's Porter Lodge. That stingy Russian spends the whole day inside this hole. Weird he's not here now. It looks like a movie poster. I can't figure out the title. The only thing I can make out is a Navy ship. Greta's place is closed. That's a cab. Since my car is still parked in Harlem, it's the only way that I can get to Brooklyn. A cab. That's just what I need.
Hi, buddy. I help you?
Take me to the Melville Port in Brooklyn.
Sorry, friend. I know in service.
What does that mean?
It means I no work. I on break. No ride, no work, and no question. I on break.
I need to go to the Melville Port. It's urgent.
Buddy, it's your problem, not mine. I off. If you big hurry, call cab company and have send other cab.
Take me to the Melville Port. I'll pay you twice the fare.
I no want money. I earn big money today. And now I on break.
When is your break over?
Oh, I don't know. Can be 2 or 3 hours.
You're on a 3-hour break? What kind of night cab are you if you take a 3-hour break in the middle of the night?
I don't talk about my work with you, especially when I on break.
Goodbye.
You said right word. Goodbye.
Hello, New York operator. I'm listening.
The taxi company, please.
Wait a second. Hello, Binkle Taxi. What can I do for you?
I need a cab.
Where are you?
Essex Street, on the Lower East Side.
Hold, please. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm sorry, but the only driver in your area isn't answering his radio. He seems to have disappeared into thin air.
You don't have any other cab?
No, not right now. No one wants to work the night shift in South New York. The area is full of knuckleheads.
So the only cab available in this area is the one with this disappeared driver.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him in days. We even reported him missing to the police, but they don't care about a disappeared Mexican cab driver. They keep telling us that sooner or later a detective will contact us by radio and they'll start an investigation, but I still haven't heard from anyone. Anyway, I can send you a cab from Harlem, but it'll still take about half an hour.
No, I can't wait. I'll figure out something else.
Okay, bye.
All I needed was a missing cab driver. It seems that the only way to get away from here is that damn Chinese cab driver.
You again, buddy? I already told you, I on break.
The company says that there are no cabs in the area.
Well, obviously, I own the cab driver in area.
Hey, wait. The receptionist said the only cab driver for this area disappeared 3 days ago.
Disappear? I know disappear. I know answer radio, that all.
And why don't you answer the radio?
I sell it, make big money.
You sold the radio?
Yes, sold. I pick up more client going round. Radio no help.
So you're the only driver in the area?
Yes, and I on break.
Something smells fishy.
And what you want now?
The receptionist said the cab driver who disappeared was a fat Mexican. And you don't seem much like a fat Mexican.
I don't understand what you say.
You understand all too well if you ask me. I'm not interested in your game. But if you're Mexican, I'm Abe Lincoln.
I'm Mexican. Adopted Mexican. Lived many years in Mexico. With uncle.
Of course. And what's your uncle's name?
My uncle called Diego. Diego de la Vega.
Diego de la Vega is Zorro.
Yes. His friends often call him Zorro.
He's make-believe. He doesn't exist.
What? You tell me my uncle no exist?
Let's knock it off with this story. I don't care who you are, or where you come from, or what you did with the Mexican driver. Just take me to the Melville port, and I'll keep my mouth shut about all this. Easy, right?
You blackmail me.
You can call it whatever you want. That's just how things are.
I no listen to blackmail.
Whatever you want. I hope the police believe your story about being Zorro's Chinese nephew.
Okay. You win. You get in cab, but no say nothing to nobody about this.
That's better.
Where we go?
The Melville port in Brooklyn. The cab glides over Manhattan Bridge, a solitary figure ignoring the speed limit. In my head, a quartet of pneumatic hammers continues to bang on my temples, reminding me that there's still a good amount of whiskey in my veins. Not exactly the best way to go to a meeting that seems like it was set up to get rid of someone quickly.
You happy now? I bring you here and now I go away.
You're not going anywhere. Wait for me here.
I must wait you here? I don't want to wait you here. This place is scary. I want to go.
Stop whining or I swear I'll get your taxi driver's license revoked.
License? Need license to drive cab?
Great. A Chinese cab driver without a license who's driving the cab of some Mexican guy that nobody can find.
Welcome to New York.
Better not waste time and head for the port's entrance. The appointment was more than half an hour ago. Better not waste time. This car tells me I'm not the only one at the port. Better not waste... There's no one here. This is the right place, and I'm not that late that most people wouldn't still be waiting. I don't like this. I'd better take a look around. It's a signal buoy. The anchor must be broken, otherwise there's no reason for it to be so close to the mooring. Melville Port. In the 1920s, it was an important loading and unloading point for fishermen who frequented the East River. But I hadn't heard about it for years. I thought it had closed. A stop sign. Before I check out the piers, I better take a look around. It's the harbor master's office. There's a notice. We would like to inform you that the harbor master's office is open daily from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. An open can. Looks like there's pitch in there. They probably called me from this telephone. I remember hearing a ship's siren during the call. There's something on the ground. Dannazione. It's blood. It's fresh. Very fresh. Otherwise the rain would have washed it away. I didn't like this case right from the very beginning. These traces of blood certainly don't win at any points. What the hell? Dannazione. That Chinese cab driver ran away and left me here. I hate cab drivers. It would be better if I called the police. It looks like there's something inside these crates. Let's see. It's part of a pipe. It could be helpful. Crates, barrels, and other crap. Everything that you'd expect to find at a port. A metal door. It's closed. A ton of useless stuff. It's definitely the telephone they called me from. And those traces of blood on the ground make me think that whoever called didn't make it out of here in good shape. Yes, I'd better call the police. Hello, operator? Operator. There's no line. Someone must have cut the cables. That explains why the telephone call I received was cut off so abruptly. No cab and no phone. Looks like I'll have to take care of things myself. It's too dark. I can barely see where I'm stepping, but I can see a blood trail pointing to the docks. An electric panel. Nothing I can do. The panel is completely useless. There's a flashlight here. Yes, I'll take it. The flashlight is in good condition, but it doesn't have any batteries. Finding something ready to be used would have been too easy. The light from this buoy definitely doesn't work on its own. It must be battery powered. Maybe it uses the same kind as my flashlight. I can't get there from here. A wooden stick. From the markings on the side, it must be one of the rods they use to measure the depth of the water. A wooden stick. From the A wooden stick. And what should I use it for? Yes, it's a good idea, but with the stick, I would be only able to touch the buoy. I need something that will help me hook it. The pipe could work like a hook, but I have to find something to connect them. I think I can do without it. And what should I use it for? It's not a bad idea, but I'd better put some pitch on the object that I want to attach to the stick. It's not a bad idea. I'm not going to pick up every object that I find around. It's fine where it is. The pipe could work like a hook, but I have to find something to connect them. And what should I use it for? I'm not going to change my mind just because you keep clicking on it. No, it doesn't make any sense. The light from this buoy definitely doesn't work on its own. It must be battery powered. Maybe it uses the same kind as my flashlight. It looks like a piece of piping. I think I can do without it. The pitch looks like it can still be used. Yes, I'll take a little. Now the pipe is full of pitch. The pitch should work as glue. And what should I use it for? Yes, this should work. The improvised hook does the job. It hooks the buoy and brings it to the pier. Okay, I brought the buoy closer. It's a signal buoy. The anchor must be... Okay, let's hope that the buoy takes the same batteries as the flashlight. They take the same batteries. If I weren't already up because of that anonymous call, and I hadn't found traces of blood at a semi-abandoned port, I'd say that today is my lucky day. Time to shed some light on this story. Gun and flashlight in hand, I walk around the crates scattered around the port. I'm careful to cast my light everywhere that someone could be hiding with the idea of whacking me over the head with something when I least expect it. There isn't anyone on the dock. I decide to look around the piers. And there, I find something that doesn't really surprise me. A dead body. Sean's dead body. I touch his face with my fingers. It's warm. He can't have been dead more than 20 minutes. Rifling through the pockets of his coat, I find a bottle that, from the smell of it, must have rye whiskey in it. And a couple documents with the name John Ford on them. They're done so well, they almost seem real. All of a sudden, a noise behind me brings me back to reality. But it's too late. A set of knuckles meets my jaw like a truck. I fall to the ground. From the rebound, my finger pulls the trigger and the gun goes off. The trajectory of the bullet is as random as my shot. The owner of the fist stands there like a statue, making noises like a caged gorilla at the zoo. I try to think of a quick way to knock him over. He's as big as a house, but a kick to his legs will knock him over like a consumptive kid. Right before I'm about to jump, the guy turns around and runs away. I follow him. But as soon as I get off the piers, a light beam hits me right in the face. "Hands up," says a voice, but I can't see the face. "New York police," continues the voice.
Del Nero, that's a great story you just told. An anonymous call, a mysterious assailant, and a dead body. Sounds like the plot of one of those crime novels so popular these days.
I bet it's those kinds of books that made you the lieutenant you are today.
Hey, I wouldn't joke if I were you. You're not in a position to be joking. Let's summarize your version of the facts. Around 20 past midnight, you got a call from a man. He said he had information for you and asked you to go to the Melville port. You agreed to meet him. When you got to the port, no one was there. You decided to walk to the piers, and there you discovered the body of Sean McLean, a former police officer who had been your partner in this department years back until the Valenti case when you both got kicked out of the force. And to conclude, you claim that you were assaulted by some mystery guy who was chasing you when you got arrested by Officers Harris and McGee. Now, is this all correct?
It's the third time that I've told you the facts of the matter. I can repeat it as often as you like so that you can see whether I trip up, but that technique isn't going to work.
You are accused of homicide, Del Nero, and I suggest you cooperate with us if you don't want to end up in a cell. There are some unclear points that I'd like to shed some light on, if you don't mind.
Sure, I don't have any other appointments. My knitting class has already ended.
Del Nero, joke around if you think this behavior will help you. At 20 past midnight, you got a telephone call from a man that asked you to go to the old Melville port. You agreed without thinking twice. Let's talk about the telephone call you received.
It was a guy with some information about one of my cases.
Okay. It must have been very important information to make you go to the port in the middle of the night. What information are we talking about?
Information on a person I'm looking for.
Interesting. Based on your story, when you got the call, you went right to the Melville port. How did you get to the port?
I took a cab.
Interesting. From the telephone records, we know you called a cab company at 12:27, but we don't have any proof that you really did take a cab. How do you explain the fact that no driver reports having you in their cab?
I paid the cab driver so that he'd say nothing.
Okay. When you got to the port, did you meet anybody?
The port was deserted.
Interesting. What did you do when you arrived at the port?
I took a look around.
Good. The officers said that you were inside the port. Why did you go to the piers?
I heard some noise.
Interesting. What did you find at the piers?
McLean's body.
Interesting. If you don't mind, Del Nero, I'll tell you my version of the facts now. I'm sorry if it's not as exciting as yours. There aren't any mystery men or anonymous calls. I think that someone was tailing Sean McLean and then decided to tell you he was at the Melville port. Maybe he did it for the money or for some sort of professional ethics between you private detectives.
Crap.
Let me finish, Del Nero. With that information, you took a cab to the port, making sure you had your gun with you. When you got there, you found McLean and you shot him in the stomach. That's how it went. Admit it, Del Nero.
I didn't kill McLean.
No? So let's talk about the gun you had in your hand when the officers surprised you at the port. You shot out from behind the docks, running like a madman with a gun in your hand. Is that right?
I wasn't running away.
Paraffin analysis on your gun shows that you used it tonight. How do you explain that?
I already told you that my gun went off during the scuffle.
Oh, of course. The scuffle with the mystery man. A man whose face you didn't see and that the officers didn't find any trace of. Del Nero, there were only two people at the port tonight. You and McLean. You were the one who killed McLean!
Why would I have killed him?
Revenge, Del Nero. Nothing but revenge. McLean confessed to your involvement with the Valenti family, and that cost him his job on the force and got you a year in the state prison. Well, that seems like a plausible reason to kill someone.
These are just theories, Malone.
These are the facts, Del Nero. Confess. It was you who killed Sean McLean.
I didn't kill McLean.
Say you're guilty, Del Nero.
You don't have any proof.
Del Nero, the law allows me to keep you here for as long as I need to. If you confess now, the judge will go easy on you, and you might get off with a lighter sentence. Otherwise, you stay here in this room until we find the evidence that shows you're the killer. And if we can't find them, I'll make sure that something turns up. Goodbye, Del Nero.
Bastard. Dannazione. Malone won't take too long to get the proof he needs. I have to find a way out of this situation. An interrogation table. I'd like to say that it's the first time I've seen one. Hey, is there anybody in there? If you plan on keeping me here for long, you could at least give me a magazine to read. This place is boring. It doesn't look like anybody is in there.
Hey in there!
What's happening now?
Someone paid your bail. Pick up your personal effects at the counter and beat it. We need the room.
Right when I was starting to be fond of this place.
If you want, I can always toss you in a cell for a few days.
Is this a formal invitation to meet your family?
Huh.
I'd better get out of here quickly. I don't want to spend another minute in this place. It's the counter where you return personal effects. My personal effects. I hope nothing's missing. Sean's bottle of rye. The officers must have thought it was mine. Otherwise, they would have never left me an object belonging to the person they think I shot. Hey, let me out of here. The police department of Hoboken. It's been years since I've been here. Nothing's changed. There are the same photographs on the walls as when I worked here. Officers with their chests puffed out and mayors shaking hands. I really didn't miss this place. Anyway, it's time to figure out who's the good Samaritan that decided to pay my bail. One of those pompous awards that mayors love to hand out to make themselves more popular. Jokes aside, this plaque is an award to Malone for his work combating crime here in New York. The plaque says, "For his continued quest for the truth." It's like assigning a Nobel Peace Prize to Al Capone. Kevin Thomas Taylor, head of the department. George Hawks, police captain. Paul Sanders, head detective. The service officer's post. Hi, officer.
How can I help you?
Can you tell me who paid my bail?
Tell me your name.
Jack Del Nero.
Jack De Niro?
Del Nero, not De Niro.
Okay, calm down. Jack Del Nero. Here you are. Released at 1:13 with bail paid by Victoria Diaz. Yes, it was Sergeant Diaz who paid your bail. Well, you have powerful friends.
It looks like it. Where can I find Sergeant Diaz?
Top floor. Stairs are in the back on the right.
Thanks. Goodbye, officer.
Goodbye.
Sergeant Diaz, this behavior is unacceptable. I'm not going to let you hamper my investigation.
It takes a lot of guts to call it an investigation.
I'm not going to discuss my methods with you. I'm your superior, and I'm ordering you to get your nose out of this matter. Or I'll have to take care of you as well.
What do you want to do? Toss me in a cell too?
Stay out of it. It won't turn out well for you. Del Nero, do what you want for the time that you have left, because in 24 hours, you'll be back behind bars, and I'll be the one bringing you in.
What an honor.
Joke all you want. The truth will come out one way or another.
You do like to play the role of the irreproachable police officer, right, Malone?
It's a role that comes easy when I'm standing in front of a murderer.
You have no proof that I killed McLean.
I'll find it, Del Nero. I'll find it. I suggest you don't leave the city. I have personally informed every officer in New York about your situation. If they find you with 1 foot outside the city or close to doing anything you shouldn't be, they have orders to arrest you and bring you in.
An entire police department watching my every move. I'm thrilled by the attention.
24 hours, Del Nero. Give me 24 hours.
Sergeant Diaz.
Knock it off, Jack. Call me Victoria.
You've had quite a career over the years. When I knew you, you were just a rookie.
A lot of time has gone by, Jack. Anyone would have done it.
I don't think so. If I were still on the force, I'd still be patrolling Central Station.
You could have become a lieutenant without any problems if you just had some common sense.
I have a pretty rocky relationship with common sense.
Which isn't very good for an officer.
But that aside, we have to talk. Is there a quiet place?
My office should be quiet enough.
I had been in the force for a couple years already when Victoria came to the department. She was one of the rookies, fresh from the academy, certain that she could make this city a better place. She quickly realized that wasn't the case, and that, for her, things wouldn't be so easy. Before then, no one had ever heard of a policewoman, and no one wanted her in their way. A Mexican girl who would have started crying at the first gunshot? Not exactly the ideal partner. So Captain Mayers decided to pair her with someone who wouldn't make any trouble. Sean and I were perfect. We had so many demerits for bad conduct that we weren't in any position to object to any of his decisions. So we started to babysit the girl. We taught her everything we knew: how to follow a lead, how to pump someone for information, and how to go home without a bullet in you. Victoria was a quick learner. Yeah, she was shy, but she had intuition. Sean and I liked her right off the bat. It's Victoria. If it wasn't for her, I'd still be in the interrogation room.
What do you want to ask me?
Why did you pay my bail?
Shouldn't I have done it? Would you have rather stayed in the interrogation room?
So you believe I'm innocent?
I didn't say that. But I doubt that you were the one who killed Sean.
You don't think I could kill a man?
Yeah, you could. But that's not the point. You have a lot of defects, Jack, but you're not a killer. And what really doesn't stand up is the motive. Revenge. You pay someone to find Sean and kill him. That doesn't fit with someone who is as unresponsive as you are.
Unresponsive? I'll take that as a compliment. Tell me about Malone.
What do you want to know?
What do you know about him?
Well, as much as I hate to admit it, he's a great police lieutenant. Over the years, he has managed to dismantle more criminal activities than even the feds. He even received an award from the mayor, in person.
Not for his manners, that's for sure.
His methods during investigations are well known. But everyone turns a blind eye when they see the results. Superiors, feds, Republicans, or the Democrats.
So, he has the support of the white collars?
Right. You have to be very careful with him. Tease him enough, and you'll end up in jail, guilty or innocent.
I think I've already teased him enough.
I have no doubts about it.
When did he get here?
It's been 3 years since he was transferred here. No one knows much about his past. He's not the kind of guy with whom you can chat over a beer. The only thing I know is that he was with the feds. But no one knows why he left, and especially why they transferred him to New York.
Do you know anything else?
What do you want me to say? That he's allergic to lemons, so you can poison him with a slice in his coffee? Jack, no one knows much about him. He talked to you more during the interrogation than to me in 3 years of working together.
What were you talking about when I got here?
It seems like he didn't appreciate that I paid your bail.
You aren't on good terms?
We aren't on any terms at all. Malone does his investigations alone and doesn't want anyone underfoot.
Let's change the subject. Tell me about Sean.
I'm not working on the case, but ask away.
What was he doing in New York?
I don't know. Since you two both got kicked out of the police force, I haven't ever seen him again. I just knew that he had moved to Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. While I was locked up in a 10 by 10 foot cell, he was living it up in the City of Angels.
I don't think he was exactly living it up, Jack.
What do you mean?
I got a case a while ago. A guy, a certain Patrick Olson, blew up a cafe near Central Park. During the investigation, Sean's name came out of nowhere. We never had any real need to contact him or question him or even suspect him, but that fact that his name came up surprised me. It seems like he was mixed up in some dirty business out in Los Angeles. I don't know what exactly, but he wasn't living it up.
Why did he have falsified documents with him?
I'm telling you, I'm not on the case, so I don't know all the details. But I think it's strange that Sean was in New York with fake documents, considering that a lot of people know him here. The fakes certainly wouldn't have helped him pass unnoticed.
I don't have any other questions for now. I better go now.
If you need me, I'll be in my office.
All the officers' shifts are on this blackboard. Name of the officers and their patrolling locations. Their radio frequencies are written here as well. Forms to fill out. One of the things that I don't miss about police work. That's the crazy Chinese cab driver who left me at the port. What the hell is he doing here? It's that crazy Chinese... What are you doing here?
You! It you! I knew it! You report me! Tell all to police!
What the hell are you talking about?
Yes, you pretend, but you one of them! One of them that hate foreigners! Yes, you're sexist!
Racist, not sexist.
Yes, you racist! You tell police to get me out of your country!
Listen, buddy, I couldn't care less if you're Chinese, African, or from Easter Island. I don't know why you're here. And if you stop squawking, maybe I'll be able to understand what's happening here.
You no report me to police?
No, I have other things to worry about than a damned cab driver.
If it not you, then who was it? I confused.
Welcome to the club. $10 to enroll and free whiskey Fridays.
$10? That expensive.
Forget about it. Let's start with you telling me how you ended up here, and your name too, because I'm not calling you the Chinese cab driver for the rest of this conversation.
My name Chon Jishiwan.
Okay, I'm happy with Chon.
Do as you want.
Why are you here?
As soon as I leave port,
As soon as you ran from port.
I know one. Me?
Continue with the story.
As soon as I leave port, I realize I have to go bathroom. Water is not what once was, you know?
I like hearing the details, but you can skip some of them.
Okay. I stop cab and look for a place where I can go to bathroom.
Why not do it near the cab?
I timid person, and this not your business. Anyway, when I get back, I see a man near cab.
A police officer?
No, not a police officer. No uniform, but gun in hand.
A gun?
Yes, gun. When I saw him, I hide behind dumpster. I thought he thief because he look in cab. Then suddenly he go away. I waited, hiding behind dumpster, afraid that they come back. When I come out, police come. I say that I just cab driver, but they bring me here.
Tell me about the guy with the gun.
He had mean face. In fact, I no trust and stay hiding. I cab driver, I know mean faces.
What was he doing?
He look at my cab like looking for something.
Did he say or do anything strange?
Before he go, he cursed a certain McLean.
McLean?
Yes, name seems same. You know?
It's not important if I know him or not. Tell me more about this guy.
I no trust you. I afraid that if I tell you, I get in trouble.
Hey, I'm risking life in the slammer for this case, so if you know something, talk.
Oh, you threaten all you want, but I no say nothing. I not know nothing.
Damn cab driver. Maybe Victoria could give me some information so I can make Chon talk. Now I have to go.
You go.
Come in.
Hi, Victoria. I have a few things I want to ask you.
Hi, Jack.
About the Chinese cab driver.
What do you want to know?
Why is he here?
His cab was half a mile from the crime scene. They found it parked near the port. The officers saw him, and when they found out he had taken you to the port, they brought him here. Since he got here, he hasn't done anything but whine and cry to get his cab back.
Where's his cab now?
It's in the department's warehouse. The officers brought it there. Obviously, it's been seized.
Interesting. Maybe now I have something to use to make Chon talk. I don't have anything else to ask you.
Whatever you want.
I better go now.
If you need...
You again? What you want?
I have an offer for you.
What this about?
Tell me about the guy that you saw near your cab, and I'll make sure you get your cab back.
I don't believe you. You lie.
Whatever you want. I bet that it'll be fun to explain to the detective who will be questioning you why you're driving someone else's cab.
Okay. I tell you what I see. But until I see cab, I no tell you nothing.
You're not as dumb as I thought. Okay, done deal. I'll get your damn cab back, and you tell me what you saw.
Deal!
Now I have to go.
Ah, you go.
Hi, officer.
How can I help you?
About a seized cab.
Ah, yes. The one belonging to that whining Chinese guy.
How can I get a seized car released?
Do you believe in miracles?
What do you mean?
Release of a vehicle, Procedure 75. To release a vehicle, you need the form on its seizure. If the vehicle was seized because it was abandoned, you need Form B43. If the vehicle was seized following a police investigation, you need Form B26. If the vehicle was seized due to an unpaid fine, you need Form F12. Once the form with the vehicle's general information is filled in, it must be signed by the head detective of the department that seized the vehicle, and then delivered to the administrative officer, which, luckily, is me.
Isn't there a faster way of getting the damn cab back?
Yes, buying another one.
I don't have anything else to ask you.
Great news.
Goodbye, officer.
Goodbye.
John.
You retrieve cab?
Not yet. I'm working on it. About your cab. I need your license plate.
License plate? You mean numbers on car?
Yes, that.
I not know number.
How the hell am I supposed to get your cab back if you don't even remember the license plate number?
I remember only last two letters, C and I, like China, my country. I no remember other.
If there are 7 numbers, that means I need 7 numbers. What do you think I can do with just 2 numbers? Now I have to go.
Ah, you go.
The department's porter's lodge. The service officer's post. Hi, officer.
How can I help you?
I'd like to talk to Malone.
Sorry, the lieutenant is working a case.
I have to speak with him. It's urgent.
Sorry, but even if I wanted...
I'm the key suspect in the case the lieutenant is working on. I don't think that Lieutenant Malone would be happy if he finds out you sent me away.
Okay, wait here. I'll go call him.
Good. Now that the officer isn't there, let's try to figure out the cab's license plate number. Here's the list of seized cars. There are more than a dozen license plate numbers. I have to figure out which one belongs to Chon. Chon said that his license plate ended with C and I. This is the only one on the list that matches. This has to be Chon's cab. RP834CI. I should remember it. The officer is coming back.
The lieutenant is waiting for you in the interrogation room. I think you know where that is.
Yes, I've already taken the scenic tour.
Del Nero, you finally decide to give a full confession?
I have some questions about Sean.
Why should I answer your questions? You haven't thought of investigating for yourself, have you? Hey, we aren't in a crime novel. If I find out you're conducting your personal investigations, I'll toss you in a cell for hindering the investigation.
If I do nothing, I'll end up behind bars accused of homicide. If I do my own investigation, I'll end up behind bars for hindering yours. Your threats are all starting to sound the same. Have you ever noticed that?
Provoke all you like, Del Nero. I've seen people like you hundreds of times. You play strong and you hide behind your sarcasm, but you give in sooner or later.
Goodbye.
See you soon, Del Nero.
Okay, I have the license plate number and the name of the person who's supposed to sign. Now I just need to fill out the form. Signed for... Okay, let's start. I should have filled it all out correctly. Now I just have to give it to the officer on duty. Here's the release form.
Let me check. Seems in order. It's incredible that you got the head detective's signature so quickly.
I'm a lucky guy.
More than lucky. Head Detective Sanders died of a heart attack last month. Funny how he can still sign releases.
Okay, let's knock it off with this show. If you haven't arrested me yet, it's clear that you want something for the release of the cab. What is it?
Well, you know how things are nowadays. We have an economic crisis, there's rent to pay, diapers for the kids. I could close an eye if you help me.
Let's try with $10. Is this enough?
$10? You're definitely not Rockefeller, are you?
If I were rich, I certainly wouldn't be here bribing some kid cop.
Hey, stop preaching. You just falsified a document. You're the last one who can preach. You try living with what the police force pays. I have a wife and a daughter to support. And I assure you that at the end of the day, I don't care if everything was on the up and up at work if I can't give my family a decent meal.
Okay, cut out the sob story. Take the money and release the damn cab.
I'll give the order to release that cab. Don't worry.
Your cab was released.
You freed my cab?
Yes, I freed your cab.
You no lie?
Done. Your cab was released, and it cost me $10. So now let's talk about what you saw at the port.
Okay.
Chon starts talking about the guy with the gun. I find out that, hiding behind the trash cans, he didn't see much of the face that, a second before, he had described as not very desirable. The guy wasn't doing anything strange. He was glancing at the cab in between a curse against Sean and a puff on his cigarette. A very strong-smelling cigarette, according to Sean. An armed hitman with a taste for good tobacco. This is everything that I can find out about the guy who probably killed Sean. Certainly not enough to find out something about his identity. Interesting.
Now I tell you everything. I go away?
No, we have to go somewhere first.
We have to? Why I come with you?
Because I need your cab.
I no intention being your cab driver.
In that case, I could tell the police officers a story about a Chinese guy driving some Mexican guy's cab.
Damn it, this is unfair.
Welcome to New York.
I don't understand why you want to come back here.
The armed guy that saw you near your cab was looking for something. Probably while his friend with the quick hook was looking around the piers, he was going through the neighboring areas. When you ran away, he must have seen you and followed you, thinking that you might have had what they were looking for. The arrival of the police must have made them run away, and that makes me think that whatever they were looking for must still be at this port.
Okay, I wish you good luck. See you.
Stop right there. You're not going anywhere. I paid $10 to get your cab back, and since my car is still parked in Harlem, I decided you'll be my driver.
No way, my friend. Forget it.
If you like your cab, don't make waves, because when I get back, if you aren't here, I swear I'll take this jalopy of yours and demolish it.
Damn it. Okay, I'll be your driver, but you promise you cause me no trouble.
We're in New York. This city is the capital of trouble.